And welcome to 520 Sports Talk. I'm Sean Scott. That is Bill McCulloch. Behind the screens is Andy Taylor, as always. And welcome to episode, is it 40?
40.
Are we officially over the hill?
40.
All right. Well, congratulations to us. Episode number 40. All right. I give myself a pat on the back, but I pulled a muscle. Congratulating myself earlier on something else, I'm assuming. So, but we're really excited to have a couple amazing guests now. We always bring in, you know, the major players, but we like to have Pima once a month, and I think what happened to May? Did May happen with Pima, Ray? What was going on?
I don't remember. Well,
yeah, it was so long ago. It was like 45 days ago, but
May was championship month. We
right, I know.
All the state champions.
Right, yeah. I mean, we had so many state championships here, and speaking of state and championships, we're going to hear about it on Ray's cell phone over there. So I told Ray Suarez, sports information director for the Pima Aztecs, we weren't going to make fun of him, but I make no guarantees, and I think you all know that.
That's right.
So, but again, we want to welcome two wonderful guests from Pima Community College. Starting on the left-hand side, we have athletic director Edgar Soto. So
hello.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. And returning back to the Pima Aztecs after a hiatus, head baseball coach Rich Alday. Coach, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
It's going to be a great show. If you are watching right now on Facebook, make sure to send the questions across. We do have some questions that came in earlier from Lori Burkhart, so we do have those questions ready to go. We have some questions of our own. Bill, you actually attended Pima when Coach was with his last stint with Pima. Is that correct, or was it before?
No, I'm old, but yeah, Coach Alday was
that
the coach.
includes me too. I'm old too.
Yeah, Coach Alday was already an icon at Pima when I went there for my fire science and EMS classes.
So
yes, I remember
that. So, Coach, what sort of sparked the return? I mean, what got you back into wanting to come back to Pima and return the your style of play to the Aztecs and bring them back into the fold?
Well, actually, I was coaching softball. I was at Ironwood Ridge High School for 4 years, and I told my wife, I said, hey, I'm done after this year. And so I was about a week and a half, and then I get a phone call from Pima College, and they said, how would you like to coach again?
Oh, boy.
But I asked my boss, my wife, and she says, get out of here. Go ahead, go.
So there wasn't any arm twisting or anything like that? Okay.
But
well, that's good.
I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about getting back and coaching baseball, so it's going to be fun.
I'm sure that everybody in this room and probably hundreds of other people are glad you're back as well. So
definitely.
I'll tell you what, I've had nothing but emails and phone calls from ex-players and actually players from University of New Mexico also, just calling me and just telling me congratulations and go get them, and so it's been fun. It's been really nice.
That's wonderful. Bill, since you were off last week,
yes,
I want to give you the opportunity, since I got to take care of it last time. But we want to acknowledge, before we get into the meat and potatoes of the interview here, I want to give you the chance to acknowledge our sponsors.
Okay, all right.
So if you want to have at it, I'm going to give you all of them.
Okay, great. First and foremost, Chris Lawler, Nova Home Loans. We are at the Chris Lawler Nova Home Loans studio, back again after a long hiatus, but it feels good to be back. If you need any home loans, any refinancing, anything of that type, Chris is the man to see. As Sean says, the guy never sleeps, and
it's true.
One of the best in Tucson, if not the best, and also we're glad to have him as a sponsor.
Yeah.
Also, he is going to do the Harry Potter
costume
charity thing.
Charity ball.
Yeah.
Yes.
So look forward to that. Once again, you can give him a call at 520
260-4846.
Thank you. You have a better view than I do.
Yeah. Yes. And loansbylawler.com for Chris Lawler.
Exactly. So. Also, The Rock. The Rock has been busy. We initially thought The Rock may be a little slow with summer coming around, the heat, people going on vacation and whatnot, but they've had some fabulous shows the last month and a half. continuing on to this month and much more shows. Please, if you're in line, waiting to get in, waiting to pay your cover, mention 520 Sports Talk.
Yeah.
They will give you a break on your cover, but you got to mention it, and hopefully before you get in the door.
Yeah, and also, I was going to mention they also do underage shows. So if you're not 21, you can still go to that venue. You just can't partake of the adult beverages.
That's right. That's right.
Speaking of adult beverages,
who's
the next sponsor?
Well, we're going to do Z Pizza, which we will be at the home of Z Pizza next week for our last Tuesday of the month show. Excellent pizza, 12 beers on tap, I believe 4 wines on tap. Once again, soft drinks for the kids. So anybody of any age, feel free to check out Z Pizza. You will not be sorry. Excellent food, good owner, good staff. You'll get taken care of. Also, our other home away from home, Stray Dogs.
Oh, I miss Stray Dogs.
Stray Dogs.
Food.
We were actually a fixture in May and June.
In early June.
Early June at Stray Dogs. We haven't. I think we certainly love them. They roll out the red carpet and they're very, very accommodating. If you've seen some of the other shows lately, they've been actually our best rated shows.
Yeah.
Have come from Stray Dogs. Just thousands of viewers. We love it. Parents of the teams that are on love it. The teammates obviously love it. Coaches. So it's a good venue. Check it out. Home of the Big Donut.
Yeah. By the way, one of the first remotes. We did our first remote at Z Pizza, but shortly thereafter, one of our best remotes that we had was actually the Pima women's basketball team.
That was our first
stop at Stray Dogs, actually. Yeah. So we had the entire team there, all the coaches there. That was a great show at Pima.
#1 ranked.
So that was a great show. They were just featured on Ginormous Foods last week. June 9th, they had a 17-inch donut. They got like the bulk of that show. So Stray Dogs. I want to jump in here because you were mentioning you were just in beautiful, scenic Yuma, Arizona, and it was 137,000 degrees, which brings me to our next sponsor.
It was way hot. Way hot.
Oasis Air
Conditioning. David Murrieta, once again, mention us, and you will get a break. I had a friend call me on the phone. She was worried about her father's air conditioning not working. He's elderly, and I told her to call David, told her to mention us. She did. She got a break. She was happy. David had the air on in a matter of about an hour. So good things happen when you call Oasis Air Conditioning and Heating. And, if you have any problem with your air conditioner, please don't wait till it goes out before you call, because God knows how long it'd take to cool the house back down once that happens.
Yeah, no kidding.
So also our newest sponsor, one of our newest sponsors, Aqua Solutions.
Take a dip in the pool.
Exactly. So while they're fixing your air conditioning, you can go take a dip in the pool.
Right. They basically do everything but dig the hole.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And and they're all about clean water. Everybody uses chemicals, and so do they. But they are, their chemicals are not harmful to pets if your dog, swims in it or whatever. So they're very much into, properly maintaining the pool in a healthy respect, which will not only benefit you, like I said, if you do have pets that like to take a dip once in a while, it will not be hazardous or harmful to them as well. Also, Snap Fitness.
Oh yeah,
Snap Fitness is
forgetting. We're getting so popular. With all these new sponsors.
Snap Fitness.
So cool.
We had the bodybuilders and the fitness models about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Looks like Edgar could fit in with those models.
Z Pizza. Exactly. Might need Ray to help us out on an assist there.
How hot it is in here.
That's some good stuff right there.
Exactly. So
Edgar, no one wanted to see you anyways. I'm sorry.
I get the message, guys.
Right.
You mean the body of my body doesn't fit in with Edgar's?
That's right.
No, we're just basically saying we wanted to cover his up with Chris Lawler's sign right there. So
Chris Lawler's everywhere. So Snap Fitness, one thing, open 24/7. So if you work out hours, or you just like one of those people that likes to get up at 4 in the morning and go work out before your day starts, they can accommodate you with their 24/7 policy. So
exactly, 2 more.
Also,
2 more, right?
We've got our first sponsor,
Meech's.
Ever. Meech's on South 4th Avenue. You want good Mexican food? Take the trip. Believe me, it's worth it. South 4th Avenue, across from the old Greyhound Dog Park. Meech's has been in business since 1976. I've known the Mariscal family since the early 80s. Terrific food, great family, good margaritas. You like margaritas, go check them out.
Yeah. And last but not least, Tucson A-List.
But not least, Tucson A-List. If you want to expand your footprint in the Tucson business area, Tucson A-List is the way to go. let them know that you also heard about them on 520 Sports Talk, and Kendra Sewell will make something special for you.
Yes. So now, let's get to the people that we came here for, right?
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. We're excited too.
So, Coach, let's start with you. What have you enjoyed the most about the process of being back at Pima?
The people, number one, they're really, good people as far as doing all the programs that they've done, and the coaching staffs that have been. Coach Monaco is one of the best coaches that I've known, and of course the basketball coach and Coach Peabody, and I mean that's the biggest thing. That's the thing that interests me. Plus,
Sure.
it's close to home too.
There you go.
It's pretty close to home, so it takes me about 10 minutes to get there. So that's
By foot?
Yeah, that's why I have this body.
Right,
That's
yeah,
right. That's
exactly. We had when we had Coach Monaco on the show, he actually had to stand in the other room because he's so loud.
Oh, he is loud.
He does.
Yeah, and he turned his mic off
yeah.
early.
Before I take Coach Monaco to meetings with our administrators, I had pre-warned him, say, okay, he's not yelling at you guys. That's just the way he talks.
Right.
I had to let all our administrators know so they don't think he's yelling.
Well, those
know.
those from Massachusetts, they
Yeah.
they can talk a little bit.
That's right.
Okay.
Can you see him at home? Pass the ketchup.
Yeah.
So we did have a couple of questions here, and I'm not sure. I don't know how we had a lot of people join in and submit a question. So if I don't get to announce you by name, we just want to acknowledge that the questions are coming in. So thank you. So Coach, what kind of baseball player was Edgar?
Good. In fact, I recruited him from Tucson High.
Oh, my God, you're going to tell him about this story.
But
here's the
Uh-oh, here we go.
he decided to go to Arizona Western.
So you like Yuma?
Hey, well, let me tell you something. Coach Alday also went to Arizona Western.
Yeah, we did 1 year.
Yeah.
So, but Pima College was not around, So, but he was a good player, and so we recruited him, and we also recruited one of his buddies, who's now coaching at Houston Astros.
Oh wow!
And,
Greg Bjornson, yeah. He's a bullpen coach.
Yes,
Him
he
and
is.
Brett Strom.
And Houston's doing fantastic right now.
Yeah,
they really are.
Oh, best record I think in baseball.
Yeah, I
right
think
now.
so.
Right now it is.
I mean, they're
Yeah.
almost doubled up 500.
Yeah, they're
So-
incredibly good this year. Coach Alday, you mentioned that you've gotten a lot of letters, emails, phone calls from players, former players, coaches, people that you were involved with at Pima when you were here on your first stint. I actually talked to a player this morning, actually, when I was driving home from Yuma, and he wanted me to kind of give you a hard time. George Arias.
Oh yes.
He
Yeah.
says, I said, well, he said he didn't play for you, but you recruited him to Pima, and then you left for the Lobos.
Yes, I did.
So,
Yeah, and then he took the Pima Aztecs to Grand Junction, that year.
Yes,
So,
yes.
and of course Roger Werblo was one of my coaches,
Mhm.
and then he became the head coach there, and so he's a very good coach also. But George was an outstanding player, very nice, and I wish I would have kept him. And I tried to recruit him to the University of New Mexico.
I was wondering, did you try to make
Oh,
him
yes.
flip?
He
He flip
sure
his
did.
LOI?
Yeah, so. But he decided to go to be a Wildcat.
Yeah, he did well there, and obviously he did well as a Padre, and just his whole career, his Japanese career, and just a great player, a great person. We're going to have him on hopefully on our July 11th show when we have the All-Star game that very night. We've got some former major leaguers that are going to be on the show, so we're looking forward to that as well.
Yeah.
When I was with the USA team, I met a Japanese coach, assistant coach for the Japanese team also, and he wanted to come to Tucson to spring do training. And I said, sure, Katsu, come on down. I never was going to see him again.
Right.
Japan is like 900 miles away, or 9,000 miles away, I should say. But I asked him about Jack Howell. Jack went to Japan.
Yep.
And I also asked him about George Arias, and the interpreter says, George Arias, Jack Howell, home run hitters,
Right.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
were really, very good over there in Japan.
In
So,
case you didn't know, Jack Howell also was a local product, went to Palo Verde High School, so he was
Right.
a Titan.
yeah, he was.
So I think we're gonna have at least one World Series champion on the show. Pat Darcy will be there, and then another World Series participant in.
Well, Bill Bates hit a
Bates.
home run during the earthquake series. So.
Right.
Oh, is
So,
that?
yeah,
That's
he's,
right.
He's a fire captain for Tucson Fire. Worked with him for many years. Good guy. Looking forward to that. Also, a guy that I played Little League against. I didn't play him on play on the same team, but he won a Little League World Championship. He won a NCAA World National Championship, and he won a World Series. Ed Vosberg.
Yeah, I coached with Ed. And he was coaching with 520. It's a club team that they have here in town.
Did they steal our name?
Yeah, but I think it may have been the other way around.
Okay, we won't
possibly,
say anything.
Yeah.
But Ed's a very good pitching coach. Really good. I really enjoyed.
You're missing one World Series, Bill, that he played in.
What's that?
Vosberg. With Ed Vosberg, there was another World Series he played in that you didn't know about.
What's that?
The Caribbean World Series.
Oh, did he? Okay,
when he was playing in Mexico. So he has 4: Little League, and the college, and Caribbean, and then of course the Major League Baseball.
Major League
World
Baseball.
Series.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's also the Caribbean World Series.
Well, it's definitely going to be great to have him on because, obviously his insight to the game and as well as the other players too. So we're looking forward to it.
Definitely. So Edgar, we have a question for you. What kind of coach was Coach Alday, and how much did you get in trouble?
You know what? I could only remember one time getting in trouble, and that was because of my roommate Terrence Frazier. yeah. We had a little scuffle the night before, and I remember having to come to Coach Alday and explain things to him a little bit because Terrence was hurt, and he was one of our star players, and I was just kind of a guy, and Terrence was so he was out for a little bit, but no, Coach was great. What I remember most is when I first got there to University of New Mexico. I actually had to redshirt my first year. I was a class or two short, and I remember him and Norma just really being openly welcome, and his son Ambrose, and I just remember I wasn't able to travel with the team my first year there because I was redshirting, but I would go on every trip that they would drive to with Norma and Ambrose, and I hadn't thought about it in a while, and I came in to meet with Coach Alday for the first time, we started talking about it. I mean, I was just so amazed. I almost got emotional just thinking about it because I was like, they could have just kicked me to the curb and said whatever, but they made sure I was taken care of and things were good, and I'd go on a trip, and I'm just so thankful for being able to play for him, and I wish I would have played for him right out of high school, but I had already, actually the reason I didn't go to Pima right out of high school was because I had already verbally committed to Arizona Western, and then I think I probably told him I was going to go there also, and then I had to call him back and say, I'm not going to be able to go, Coach. I had already verbally committed. My dad told me you better call Coach Alden and let him know. And I remember him saying, well, we're going to beat you guys. And they did. They did beat us.
Two times.
Yeah.
Two
exactly.
times.
Two times.
Oh,
So,
just rubbing it in right there.
But, I knew how good of a coach is. I mean, he's actually a legend here in town. And you guys that have been around baseball long enough know that he's a pillar in our community here. And we're very, very lucky to have him. And when we had that opportunity, I was thankful that he took the opportunity because I've been running into him a lot. I knew he was coaching softball, but he was also involved in some football stuff. He was just active in the community. And I think, what we're looking for at Pima right now are people that have a strong connection with our community. And if you look at Jim Rosborough, who's retired and is coming back and helping out our women's basketball program. You got Dick Tomey, who's retired, living here in Tucson now, and coming back to help our football program. And then you look at Jerry Stitt, who's been my assistant athletic director for as long as I've been there. He took a little short time off. But, these are all guys that they don't have to work. They
Right.
don't have to be there. They could just, ride off into the sunset and be fine. But they care about this community. They still got a lot to give and a lot of knowledge. And I just, jumped at the chance when I figured that we had a chance to get him. And I'll tell you what, the feedback we got from alumni was amazing. I mean, you look at the Facebook, all the different things going on. I want to come back and I'm going to go to some games this year. I'm going to do this and that. So I'm really excited about our alumni game this year. We're going to plan something the second to last weekend in January, and we'll get you'll see some former players here. Some big leaguers, some guys like Jack Howell, Gil Heredia. They'll be here at our alumni this year.
Yeah, just let us know because we'll be more than happy to film it for you. Coach, just kind of changing gears out of Tucson, you were the national coach, the Olympic coach in 88 and 96. Now, I know 88 was Seoul. Talk a little bit about that team and who was on there.
It was, all I had to do was just throw out the baseballs because they were, all of them were major leaguers.
Yeah.
They were all major leaguers. Robin Ventura played third base, and Tito Martinez played first base, and Scott Service, who's the Mariners manager now,
Right.
And So we had Tommy Goodwin, who's as the first base coach for the Mets, and Mickey Morandini, who's the first base coach for the Phillies right now.
Right.
So I could go on and on. Big Ben McDonald who's doing
wow.
the
Big Ben.
ESPN. He's and it's funny because I saw him 3 years ago because I still work with the NCAA regionals a lot of times, and
Okay.
And so I saw him there at Rice University, and all of a sudden he saw me. Hey, coach, how you doing? And he came up to me, and Jimmy Abbott, another one is I'm real close
From your
to.
team.
Yeah, so I mean, I could go on and on with those kids.
Jim Abbott, yeah. Well, I mean, he actually, when he was done with his career, he actually went to go coach at my high school.
Oh, is that
a little
right?
bit, Corona Del Mar High School, because I think he was originally from the Orange County area.
Well, he's from Michigan originally.
Right. I don't know why well, obviously with playing with the Angels, he kind of settled
Yeah,
there.
he played with the Wolverines. I'm not sure where he played high
Right.
school, but yeah. And then subsequently, the '96 was that the Atlanta
Yeah,
Olympics?
it's Atlanta games.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I thought I had it. And tell me the the standout players on that team. Maybe the difference between '88 and '96.
It's funny because it's in '88 we had great pitching, but our offense was just okay. Ventura was good. Tino Martinez was good. But we still had some missing pieces as far as our offense goes. And then defense, '96 we had really great hitting,
Right.
and our pitching was kind of short a little bit. We had Troy Gloss, who was the MVP for the Angels.
Another Angel.
Another Angel.
Yeah, and R.A. Dickey was pitching for I think he started with Toronto. He's with Atlanta now, I think. But who else? A.J. Hinch, who's the manager for the Houston Astros.
Right, came from the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
He was with
He
the
was
Diamondbacks organization
Diamondbacks.
for a little bit, yeah.
He was so it was really really a good club. But for the most part, that's why we won the bronze instead of the gold
Right.
medal.
So we're supposed to ask you, we have another question that came in about the USA baseball team in 2002.
2002.
That was my team.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to.
Yeah.
So in 2002, I was the head coach of the USA baseball. That's the 18U.
Right,
So I had I was just sharing that. So in 2001, I was part of that staff also. That's the team that went to Cuba. Did you ever go to Cuba, Coach? You went to
No, I didn't.
You went to Taiwan, or where did you go to?
I went to Caracas, Venezuela, and
Okay.
I went to Amsterdam for the World
Yeah.
Games, and then went to Italy for the World Games
Yeah.
also.
Yeah, so 2002, I had 8 first-round draft picks on that team.
Wow, who did you have?
Well, on that team, we had Delman Young,
Oh, okay.
Lastings Millage, Chad Billingsley, Ian Kennedy, Ian Stewart. Who else did we have? Those are all the big leaguers we had, but just amazing players. And then 2001, we had guys like Houston Street, Jeff Rancor. There's like 8 first-round draft picks on that team also. But that was probably, and Coach could tell you this, one of the best experiences I've ever had coaching baseball was when you're involved representing your country.
Right.
And that's just a whole another world. And you really see some amazing players. I mean, I came back from my Pima team. I had a pretty good Pima team in 2002, some good players. But I was like, can anybody throw 95 miles an hour or hit balls?
Right, yeah.
Because we had multiple guys that would just, could throw 95, 96. Scott Cashmere was on the
Cashmere
2001
was an
tier.
animal for a while.
And then-
Rays
In fact, I got back from there, and they're throwing 92 to 95, and
Yeah.
and then I come out and we were watching the inter squad games, and all of a sudden these guys are they throwing changeups? I mean, it was unbelievable.
That's just, yeah. Well, I had a Jeff Allison. That's a whole nother story. You Google that name, but he was a first-round draft pick, but never got to the big leagues. He's kind of like the who's the guy that just got back with the Texas Rangers, got in some trouble.
Josh Hamilton.
No, not Josh Hamilton, the right-handed pitcher.
Oh yeah. Of course, now I'm gonna.
His situation where
Right.
he just had some issues, off-field issues he was dealing
Right.
with. But so
Oh, there we go. Right.
Who's that good-looking young guy?
there we
go.
The young guy.
Ray, for those of you
So-
who can't see it, Ray's showing a
You're gonna
picture,
get a picture of Coach Alday
Alday
from
last year.
yes. We it's kind of funny you mentioned Robin Ventura being on your 88 team. He was it's kind of funny because he's such a great player. He was the manager for the White Sox for a while. But the thing that everyone always remembers about Robin Ventura is when he got noogies from Nolan Ryan.
The fight, yes.
In the fight with Nolan Ryan, where it wasn't really punching. He was trying to punch him, but he just kind of kept giving him noogies. You know, but every time you hear Robin Ventura, I mean, that's like the first thing that pops in everyone's head. But he was such a great player, you know, and a great hitter for such a long time.
Excellent hitter.
Well, he was at Oklahoma State, right?
Yes.
Right.
And him and Pete Incaviglia, I mean, those guys were just
Oh, that's a 1-2 punch there.
Right.
And you talk about aluminum bats and all the stuff going on. That's why if you look at the team that I had in 2002 with USA Baseball, if you go to USA Baseball and you look at the stats, I don't think some of those stats will ever be broken because that was the last year that we're allowed to use aluminum bats.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think, you know, I mean, the stat, like you have guys like Delman Young, who the record for home runs in a tournament was 3 and he had 9. So it's just ridiculous numbers.
So
you know, the other thing too is that they talk a lot about there's a lot of failure in baseball, you know, because if you bat 10 times, you get 3 hits, you're going to make 7 outs, you know.
Right.
Well, when Robin went to minor leagues after he finished in '88 with the Olympic team, he started off 0 for 48.
Oh, wow.
Double A, 0 for 48. I mean, he could have probably hung himself. I mean, but eventually, you know, he really played really well, and you know, he ended up lifetime. He ended up like 264. You know, so and then of course he was the manager for the White Sox.
Right.
Nice. Coach, tell me a little bit about, for the viewers that don't know, you know, Edgar touched on it briefly about the change from the aluminum bats to the bats they have presently. Tell the viewers what they're made out of and the difference as far as when the ball comes off of it. Obviously, it's meant to, you know, protect the pitchers and some of the, you know, the players, you know, that in previous years have maybe got hit in the head or the face or something like that. But just talk about the difference in bats.
Well, you know, we Pima College and the junior college conference, they play with wooden bats.
Right.
Which I like.
Yeah, which I like too. And it's funny because when we were with wood, when I first started in 1973, it was wood. And there's 2 things that I disliked, is that when they went to aluminum, I said, yes, we only have to buy 2 bats instead of 50 bats, you know.
Right.
So, but that, and then at the end I said I really disliked that because, you know, it was a, you know, a situation where it was not good as far as the
stats are inflated.
Exactly.
I mean, you can't really tell what the player's worth, you know, at the plate as far as, you know, he may hit 29 home runs, and with a wood bat he hits a half a dozen or something. So it's true. A big difference.
Yeah, and the other thing too that I liked when it got in was the DH.
You do like that.
Well, when it came in.
Oh, okay.
Now I definitely hate it.
I'm old school. I think the pitcher should bat. If you're going to play on the field, you need to bat.
Well, the other thing too is what is nice is that then you can pinch hit for the pitcher. Or, you know, double switches and and so that's what I did, because then all of a sudden you don't play a lot of the players. You know, you have 25 players, and a lot of them don't play because you know
the DH.
You can pinch hit and you know. So, but that's the 2 things that I liked, and the 2 things that I disliked at the end, you know. So
well, most National League pitchers are pretty adept at bunting now. I mean, you know, they know how to sacrifice. They're pretty good bunters. I mean, there's a few pitchers that can jack it out of the park, but you know, basically a pitcher's there just to move the runner over or to protect if somebody's going to, you know, take off and steal a base.
Yeah, well, when he's not tearing apart every bone or ligament in his body, Madison Bumgarner can rake.
That's right.
I mean, that guy, he had 2 in first month of the season, had 2 home runs in 1 game.
Yeah.
So that's a way to basically make sure that your pitching can have a little bit of leeway. If you just go ahead and put 3 RBIs, you know, jack a couple home runs, and then you're good.
We think Madison actually was the 3rd baseman, and he probably just you know pitched it, you know, when people saw him.
Right.
Well, the other thing too is that I know Division I is got a different type of bat. They don't have all wood.
You talking about Division I
baseball?
NCAA.
NCAA? Or are you talking about?
NCAA.
Oh, they got the BB core.
Yeah.
Talk about
like, is it like a composite bat?
No, it's an aluminum bat, but the exit speed has been, you know, cut down, so it doesn't come off the bat as hard. So, I mean, in my opinion, the new BB core bats are more difficult to hit with than with wood bats because there's no pop in those bats.
Oh,
I mean, like, you know, wood bats have more pop than the BB core bats.
I know that. That's interesting.
The thing about the BB core bat, which is a little different than the wood bat, you got a bigger sweet spot. Where a wood bat, that sweet spot is a little smaller, but the BB core bat, you're gonna have that longer, bigger sweet spot. But as far as hitting the ball as far and as hard, you're probably gonna be able to do it better with a wood bat if you square it up.
So if a D1 player has some inflated home run numbers, you know that they can rake. I mean, they can.
Yeah, if they have some inflated home run numbers with that, BB core bat that they use at Division I,
right?
That's pretty legit. Yeah,
that's good to know.
So you want to circle back? I wanted to kind of circle back with Coach on bringing it back locally now to Tucson
after the New Mexico stint.
Yeah. So right now on the recruiting trail, I mean, before next season. So talk to us about some of the recruits that you think, that are already committed and ones that you're looking for that maybe stand out in your mind.
Well, the one thing when I got back is that the majority of the recruits had already signed with us. So I really didn't go out and recruit very much because, I have a lot of walk-ons that have come in. We did go to the state championship, and I saw a couple of kids from Nogales that we recruited. We recruited four. We had recruited 2 pitchers, and then one of the outfielders. That it was just 3. It was 3, wasn't it? Yeah. So, but they have some other good kids that are coming in back, for next year, 2018. But for the most part, a lot of kids have just called in and said that they want to come to Pima, and I tell them, I'd love to have you. I said, but we don't have anything as far as scholarship.
Oh, gotcha.
So we got some kids that are saying, I want to come anyway. So
how many walk-ons? I mean, I know in Division I, there's probably a little bit more chance to field more walk-ons. But as far as your scholarships are more limited in junior college, how many walk-ons would you maybe allow to at least try to practice with the team to see what they have?
Well, we can practice a little bit more than we can in Division I. We can practice for 4 or 5 hours a day if need be.
Right.
And so we can actually give them more time to try and make the club. But in Division I, you have 15 hours, 3 hours, basically 3 hours a day to practice. And so, and that's what we're going to do. We're starting to get a lot of walk-ons, and they're going to come in. And so we've got a couple of kids from Phoenix that are coming down, and we have, in fact, one of the kids that's coming down is a player that I played pro ball with. His son, Bob Spinner, that I played pro ball with back in 1974, 71, around there. And he called me and says, "Hey, I see that you're coming back to coach." He said, I got a son that's a pretty good player, and so he's going to come down and he's going to try out. So that's the biggest thing, is that you can try out, you can give individual tryouts to certain players that are coming in. Division I, you can't do that. So.
Exactly. And, as we mentioned earlier before you did coach softball, it seems like Tucson is a mecca for softball players, baseball players. Obviously, the weather has a lot to do with that, but there's a lot of homegrown talent in Tucson and Phoenix and just all over the state of Arizona. Nogales had a fabulous year. Congratulations to the Apaches for their state championship baseball trophy. And, the coach down there, Coach Favia, excellent job. Looking forward to a lot more things coming out of Nogales.
Definitely.
The thing about it too is that the small towns around here, this area, are really very, very good. And sometimes you don't get opportunity to see them very much.
Right.
We had when we were 48-10, and we lost in the championship game in Grand Junction. Excuse me. We had at second base, we had our Johnny Alva played shortstop for us, and Bobby Babuca played second base, and Huff, and he was from Sierra Vista. Alva was from Thatcher, and Huffaker was first baseman. He was from Sierra Vista, also Buena High School. So it gave them an opportunity to, we had Gil Heredia, of course, who went.
It was fabulous.
Who was definitely fabulous for us, and then he went on and pitched at the University of Arizona, and then he played professional baseball, So, but that's the key thing, is that some of the surrounding areas that can come in and walk on, and all of a sudden you can see them, and give them scholarships right after that.
Yeah. What do you hope that kids take away from their experience at Pima after 2 years?
Well, hopefully that they get a good education. And the other thing too is that we can move them on to division. Not necessarily Division 1, maybe Division 2, Division 3, NAIA schools to continue their education. And like I tell them, is that you can't play baseball forever, so you got to fall back onto something.
And I wish more kids would realize that. It's just Sean and I have talked on previous shows about a lot of the pressure that it's on, say, for instance, the U of A basketball players to come out early. Some of them aren't even projected to be drafted, but yet they're so headstrong that they want to come out. And it's just like, stay another year, get another year under your belt, not only basketball wise, but academically, because, even if you don't get hurt your whole career, which is rare, you're going to have to, what's old in sports now, Sean, 33, 35, something like that?
Depends on the sport. I mean, some sports allow, baseball lets you go a little bit longer, longer than football, longer than basketball. Well, basketball, you get a lot of longevity as long as there's no injuries. I mean, you look at players like, like Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant playing well into their late 30s, things like that. So, but that's more the exception than the rule.
Sure.
But realistically, with football, it's a very young age. With hockey, you can go for a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, you need to fall back on that education because when you're retired from your main career at 34 years old, there's only so much couch surfing you can do.
That's right.
I don't know if you've seen that Jerry Rice commercial. He says there's 480,000 athletes that are playing college ball, and only 2%, and that's baseball, football, soccer, hockey, whatever.
Yeah,
only 2% will play professional baseball or
professional sports.
Yes.
So that's why you got to get your education.
I know Sean Miller has a policy basically saying, I don't care if you leave early, but you're going to come back and finish your degree. Now, I don't know. I mean, since he's only been here 8 years, I don't know how much he's, going to be held to that. But at the same time, it's nice because not only is it super important, but it plays very well with the parents too when you think about it, because the parents are a little bit more pragmatic than the kids. The kids just want to wear their whatever logos they want to wear, and they want to win a national championship and go make millions of dollars and things like that. And they're not thinking along the lines of Larry Fitzgerald, who really, he promised his mom that he was going to finish his degree, and which he finally did last year. But it was just one of those things where it's super important to get that education, which is great because at Pima you're going to get your great 2 years, 2 year start. You're going to get quality coaching, quality education, and then really to elevate you to the next level. So that's, it's super important. So I wanted to, we have more questions coming in and everything, but I wanted to take a minute right now to dive into something for Edgar here, because Lori had a few questions for you that she had prepared. The primary one, and I find this super interesting, so Lori, thank you for asking this one, because I'm anxious to know the answer to this myself, which was, for those who don't know what an athletic director does, can you give us a quick description of what you do?
Hire good coaches. Well, so my role has changed a little bit. So I'm overlooking 16 of the teams, our men and women's sports, 8 men's sports, 8 women's sports. And then I also am in charge of the fitness and wellness program. So I'm also the dean of some academic areas. But what an athletic director does, I think my most important job is to keep our athletes healthy and safe. So, we do that with hiring quality athletic trainers, making sure that they're certified, trained, and can make sure that our athletes are healthy and safe. That's priority number one for a athletic director. And then the next priority, which is high on there after making sure everybody's healthy and safe, is the academics. I always say this, the lure to get them here might be the sport, but our focus is to get them hooked on higher education.
Sure.
And that's our purpose. And we get athletes at all different levels. I heard this analogy one time, and it's really plays to what we get at the community college level. We get the level 1 athlete who comes there and understands that their academics is their priority.
Right.
I'm going to come here, I'm going to get my education, and I'm going to play my sport while I'm here. And then you got that level 2 athlete who was kind of like what I thought I was, where, academics is important, but your goal is to play professionally.
Right.
But you're going to put the academics first. And then you get that athlete that comes here, that level 3 athlete that says, I just want to major in eligibility. I don't care about school. I don't do this. Give me whatever classes. And then it's our job as coaches, as mentors, as athletic directors and advisors, whatever it might be, to let them know the importance of education.
Right.
And there's so many stories out there where we've gotten athletes that are at that level of hey, I just want to be eligible and play, to get them to realize the importance of an education. And so that's the main priority as an athletic director, and also to keep people within compliance, right? There's a lot of rules that the NJCA has, and we got to make sure that people are in 12 credit hours, that they're have a 2.0 or better, that they're transitioning to the next semester, that you know, that it's more than just the academics and the sport. It's, you know, getting quality people to be productive citizens when they get done there, and then hopefully if they get an opportunity to go on to that 4-year school.
So you're saying C's to get degrees? Is that what you're saying?
We want to get them to get degrees. Well, you know, so this is something that I want to mention, because you guys are all talking about the academics, how important school is, and you remember the 30 for 30 or E60 with one and done, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And so one of the things that came about that is, you know, some of these athletes, maybe not at our level, but at the higher level, they have that opportunity to seize that moment where they're the most valuable and they could get as much money as possible.
Right.
Right. And those are very few and far in between. Those are the Kentucky basketball players, maybe a couple U of A basketball players. And school's going to be there. School's going to be there when you get back. And so I know a lot of people that have gone on, and I'm going to give an example. Ernie DeRosa was on one of our hitting coaches at Pima last year. He left after his junior year maybe and went to go play professional baseball, and then came back and got his degree. And so if, you know, people want to go, you know, get their shot to make it to the big leagues or to NFL, NBA, that's great. But just as long as they come back and finish up their school.
Well, that's the great thing about baseball too, is that even if, you know, you pursue, you know, if you go to, you start at college, you have to go for 3 years.
Right.
So they don't have one; they have a 3 and done.
Yeah.
Which is nice because you get enough of an education, you get to season yourself, and you know, and then
The other side of the coin is, though, a lot of players get drafted straight out of high school that never see a class in college.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's unlike any other sport, because you can't go to high school to go to the NFL. You can't go high school anymore and go to the NBA. So it's kind of a double-edged coin. I like the 3-year rule, but on the other hand, you'll get, you know, 16, 17-year-old high school kids that you got somebody whispering in your ear, you know, hey, you need to get drafted, you know, don't go to school, don't go to college. And, you know, some of them are successful, but, you know, I think more of them than not are not, and they probably should have taken the route that Sean was talking about, the 3-year college.
Yeah, well, you don't find many Bryce Harpers out there that can, you know.
Well, you know, Bryce Harper went to junior college, right?
Did he really?
Yeah, he went. So Bryce Harper played, I think he, after his sophomore year of high school, got his GED, and then played at Southern Nevada, which is in Vegas, the community college out there, and played there, and then got drafted. I think probably after his, you know, it would have been his junior year or senior year in high school.
Yeah, because he was 18.
He was 18. So he was, so he took a different route there, but he played at the community college. It's actually in Henderson, Nevada, but right there in Vegas.
Right there in Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah, Bryce Harper.
All right. Jeff Cotton was a Mountain View product. Had a great year for Pima. First team all ACCAC, WSFL, all region. Great. You know, we had him on, what was our, I think our 4th show or something like that with Coach Ionico when we were just babies.
Oh yeah.
How does the, well, you know, you as the athletic department administrator, how's the athletic department help a successful student athlete like Jeff excel in his classroom? And I know that even Jeff came on when he was on the show and admittedly said, hey, I didn't have the grades at first. And, you know, I went to Pima, but, you know, thank God I did go to Pima. He's very grateful, you know, for the opportunity to get his scholastic efforts up. And obviously his performance on the field speaks for itself.
Well, we get athletes at all different levels. We've had valedictorians, like Victoria Mariscala from Douglas, Arizona. She was a softball player for us. She had scholarships everywhere, but wanted to continue playing. She ended up playing in North Carolina, softball Division I after Pima. And then we have people that show up to Pima and they assess into, say, what we call developmental courses. So maybe they're not ready to take a college level class. So we're, you know, at Pima, you can start wherever you're at academically. So for somebody like Jeff Kahn, I think he was actually okay as far as he assessed into some of the college level courses, but he just needed that support. And what we also do at Pima, we have an awesome learning center. Penny Tarantine does a great job with our learning center. She actually used to work at the University of Arizona in their academic and athletics learning center. And so we give them support, and we, you know, they're in classes where they have workshops, test taking skills, textbook reading skills, One of the other ones is time management. You know, things that they might have not learned in high school, but they get to Pima and we're able to give them that support and make sure they're doing what they need to do. But the challenge is this. They can do everything right at Pima, graduate, get their associate's degree, but then the four-year school that they're going to might not accept something, might require something else. So a lot of times they're left having to take a class or two in the summertime, and we support them with that also. You know, we'll cover it. You know, we'll make sure that we help them with that. But it's just that support all the way around at Pima, where you're going to have people there that care about you, and they're going to make sure that you're getting what you need to be successful and to move on.
How many times, Sean, have we heard any of the Pima athletes that we've had just dozens of them on the show saying time management?
Oh, yeah.
You know, we juggle sports and academics, and, you know, they teach us how and they support us. I mean, you're doing a great job, Edgar. You know, every Pima athlete, I think probably to a T, has mentioned something about time management and how important academics are to you, to them, and the whole college, you know, at Pima.
Sure.
Oh, you know, thank you for that, because those are the things, you know, we talk about all our wins on the field, you know, us doing well, you know, our teams winning championships and going to nationals. But I think the thing I'm most proud of is when we get our student athletes to go on to a four-year school, to graduate. We had, how many academic All-Americans did we have this year? 30 academic All-Americans.
That was our next question.
Okay,
right
so
there.
I mean, you know, those are the things that are important to us. And Pima College does a great job supporting us, giving us an opportunity to you know, do what we love to do, playing the sport, but also to give us the resources we need to be successful in the classroom. And I always say this, you know, I'm thankful to Pima that they put a high importance on our athletic programs, and they see the success that comes with it, because I always tell people this, you know, Pima can exist without athletics, but athletics can't exist without Pima.
Right.
So we need to make sure we're doing everything right to continue to get the support we do from our board members, from our chancellor, from our provost, from administrators. That's important. So when you guys mention things like that, I'm going to record this and let them hear it.
Right.
So we'll make sure they hear that also.
A prime example, and I think Sean probably knows a little bit more about her because he covers Pima primarily, is Erin Peterson. I mean, you know, she went to the U of A, graduated, yet she comes back and plays basketball for Pima.
Yeah.
But that's a phenomenal story. Obviously, she got her academic award at the end of the year. You know, and, you know, just a fantastic athlete, nice lady, and, you know, it just, once again, it shows what kind of care and, you know, passion that Pima athletes have for the school.
Well, they call her Doc, right?
Yes, I was just going to say that. They already call her Dr. Peterson. So, she's amazing. And Todd does such a good job. The type of student athletes he attracts is amazing. I mean, you know, here's some students that have an opportunity to go play, or not go play, but go to school, say at University of Arizona, Arizona State, had these scholarships, but they want to play for Todd Holthouse.
Right.
And I always say this, you know, you get the right coaches, the coaches attract quality people, quality players, you know, the best and the brightest. And I think that's what Coach Alday is going to do. People want to play for him. There's people out there that when they heard we hired Coach Alday, hey, you know, they've changed their mind. Maybe they were deciding to go somewhere else, but all of a sudden they're talking about coming to Pima. And these are student athletes that we're going to go to some four-year schools.
Exactly. Wow. And I think Ray has a couple redshirt years left, so we'll get him on the field too.
We only have 10 minutes left, and we have a lot, like 5 more questions to get to, so I want to make sure we get through these.
Well, you know Ray, though, just real quick, he's not big, but he's slow. So that's really good.
He's got deceptive speed. He's slower than he looks.
You know, a few weeks ago, he army crawled all the way through the studio to get the door for someone, so he's got some moves down low in the trenches.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, so Coach, next question's for you. If you didn't coach baseball, what sport would you want to oversee at Pima?
Probably softball, since I've coached softball, you know, and I had a good time. I had a lot of fun with the girls. And
yeah, we've had the girls twice. We had a couple here. We had Bailey and Rita at the beginning of the season, or just before the season had started. And then we had almost the entire team at Z Pizza for a show, and that was great.
And we did their last sophomore day. We did the doubleheader where
that was great.
Where the girl from Saurita jacked that one over center field.
Oh, I mean, that one was a rocket shot.
We got it on film. It was terrific. It was Wild World of Sports type stuff.
Right. All right. So the next question for both of you: what Major League Baseball athletes would you have wanted to coach?
You go first, Coach.
Well, I mean, I coached.
That you didn't coach. That you didn't coach.
Probably Harper. would be one.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper would be one that
Kind of a hothead, he seems like.
Yeah.
He's very
I thought he was gonna
emotional.
say Babe Ruth.
but he would be somebody that and then Robinson Cano.
Robbie
also would
Cano,
be-
yeah.
I think he really is a good player. So there's a few that I would be able to coach.
All right, you're gonna know who my favorite team is here because it's gonna be Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera,
There we
and
go.
Alex Rodriguez.
Oh, so the
All
Red
those
Sox.
guys
Okay,
there.
fair enough. So the
Yeah,
Red
yeah,
Sox,
yeah,
I got
so
it.
there
Okay.
you go.
Tell us a little bit about. I noticed that I saw an article, a printed article. I think it was in Sports Illustrated, about maybe the loss of passion for the game of baseball with the American kids compared to it's the only game in town in the Dominican Republic or in Venezuela or some of the Latin American countries that are producing just star after star and yet some of the American kids either choose to play basketball or football and baseball's kind of an afterthought.
I think first of all, that's they're hungry for the sports that they're going to be playing. One of the reasons is because it gives them an opportunity to come into the States and
Sure.
play and make some money. Where there's a lot of kids that don't make a lot of money in the Dominican and the Puerto Rico, and so this gives them an opportunity to make money. So that's the biggest thing is that that's what they're looking for. And you look at the players that come in, they educationally some of them will play some junior college ball or maybe some Division III or II, but most of them are signing right out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Okay, so we have, talking about moving on to the next level after Pima. So there's a lot of letters of intent being signed by Pima athletes lately. We had Bree Cates just signed at Kentucky Wesleyan, Sierra Gaskell, and Aurelie Jones. The athletic department, obviously you have to feel proud for these players to move on to the next level. But how does Pima get involved with their transition to a four-year school?
The big part that we got to realize is we're going to have a relationship with that coach. So they get noticed somehow, some way. So a lot of times it's our coaches reaching out to those four-year schools that they have relationships with. And Coach Alday and I were just talking about this, I think it was yesterday, but one of the things that he's going to be able to do is after an athlete plays for him for a year, even 1 year or even 2 years, most likely, he's going to be able to pick up the phone and say, hey, I've got a player that can really play here. He coached Division I baseball for how many, 17 years, 16 years? 17 years, and then 16 years at Pima, right?
And the Lobos were no joke. They were always in the thick of things.
And so, he's done it at the highest level of college baseball. And so you get a call from Rich Alday saying, this guy can play for you. They're going to take that to heart and probably offer him a scholarship because of his words. So that's how the coaches get involved. And we got to do a good job with that. We can't say this player's all this and great, and then they show up there and they're not good because then we lose our credibility.
Right,
so,
right. That's big.
We got to be honest with them, let them know what kind of player they are.
Sure. I have to ask this one. I was told not to, but I'm just going to do it. So, Coach, you've got 4 more wins to 500 at Pima.
Yeah.
You're not going to go 4 and done, right?
No, I'm going to retire right after the 4 wins.
All right.
Got to get his 500. What
You
was
guys
that
have
show?
been great
3,000
tonight.
guys? The 3,000 hit guys? What was that show? You remember?
Oh, it's Mr. 3000.
Mr. 3000,
Bernie Mac.
yeah.
Bernie Mac,
Mr.
yeah.
500. We'll open up a
I'll,
restaurant.
I'll
500.
probably get 3 of them and I keep losing and losing. So,
And you'll get it right at the end against you'll do it against someone
College or
against
something,
Phoenix
yeah.
against Mesa or something like that. And then Edgar, how would you say that Coach Alday influenced your coaching style?
He was the most calmest guy around, but it was like, they heard the whole E.F. Hutton talks, you people listen.
Mm-hmm.
It was like when he was talking, it was like he could just quiet the whole room. And then you just took whatever he said and you took it to heart. I remember him saying things like, we would get a little cocky a little bit, and he'd be saying, hey, you guys aren't that good yet, Or when we first got to New Mexico, they didn't have a really good team, so he didn't allow us to call ourselves the Lobos. You remember that, Coach?
Yeah.
We had to call ourselves the Mules.
Oh, there you go.
So,
That's good.
he did these things that just made you think, and, he would say, other coaches would say 20 things, talk for 5 minutes. He can talk for 10 seconds and get more through to you than most other coaches. So I mean, it was like you played for a legend, and so that was that's huge.
Yeah, and to just kind of take that, and expound on that, my conversation with George Arias today, that was one of the things that stuck out in the whole 10 minutes that we spoke was you just listen to Coach Alday and you soak it in because everything he says is just gold, and it's only going to make you a better player. So, we are honored to have you, Coach Alday, come back to Pima. Edgar, you're doing a fantastic job. I mean, the coaches that we had listed before, the Dick Tomies, the Rich Aldays, the Jim Rosboroughs. I mean, these are guys, like you said, that don't have to work, and yet they still have enough passion for the game, passion for the kids, and they've made their name at either your school or at other schools, and just to be able to bring them back into the fold to help these kids, like you said, go on to the next level. If you're watching out there, you need to go to Pima Athletics. I mean, these coaches, like I said, they've coached at other places. Coach Alday, thank God he came back, and Pima is going to be that much better with him at the reins again. But you need to go. It's U of A. Yeah, we love the U of A, but that's not the only game in town. You need to go watch Pima College Athletics. Sean covers them with different sports. I've been to a few games, and it's just the coaching staff that Edgar has put together is just second to none. In any probably junior college in the nation.
Well, and it's a testament to you guys. And I want to let you know this because it's not often because I have younger kids. They're 10 and 12. My 12-year-old is a sports junkie.
Indeed.
I mean, he's been here several times just watching the show. A lot of times with the Pima athletes, he loves it. He soaks it all in. He even mentions to me after going to all the men's and women's basketball games this season, he's like, Daddy, instead of going to the U of A, I think I want to start at Pima. And I was like, that's just, I mean, I represent, I wear the
there
shirt.
You go. We appreciate it.
I wear the shirt. Coach Alday said I need a Pima baseball shirt, which I totally do. But you guys I mean, Pima as a whole, not only as a school, but as a sports program and everything like that, has really done a lot for the community and really helping out a lot of the local athletes and things like that. So it's really a credit, and thank you to you for allowing not only 520 to be a part of it, but on a more personal level for me to allow me to do play-by-play for some of your sports. It's been a joy to work with you guys, and it's a testament to what you guys do and the staff that you have.
Well, Bill and Sean, the feeling is mutual. We appreciate you guys coming out and what you do, and we want to continue this.
Yeah,
we want to continue it. We want to keep doing what we're doing, and let's keep moving forward and keep letting people know and grow this.
Yeah, it definitely will. And I think Ray was saying that either next month or the month after, if we can, get that coaching icon show put together with Coach Alday, with Dick Tomey, Jim Rosborough, with Stitt and everyone, that would be a fantastic show. So, we'll try and put that together for July or August would be fantastic. Coach, we did have another question come across that I think is really important. We only have a couple minutes left, so I wanted to get this in. Who were your coaching influences growing up?
What's funny is that one of them is Coach Wing, Jim Wing. He used to be the pitching coach at University of Arizona.
Of Kendall.
And what he did, he was my high school coach. And every time I go see him, when I was at Pima earlier, I'd go see him and he'd say, "Hey, I got something for you." And every single time, "Coach, I'm just here to say hi to you." No, he says, "You got to pay attention there." But I've been with him and Skip Burtman from LSU and Ronnie Polk from Mississippi State. The one thing that I think I've paid attention is I always have my ears open to find out, to make sure that I get all the information from these guys, and they give it to us. They really do, and I've surrounded myself with good people. That's the key. You got to have some good assistants, and I've been doing that. Not only at Pima when I started, and also at University of New Mexico, and then I'm back here. So I'm starting to get some people surrounded myself.
Yeah, well, we did have one of the coaches that's still on the staff when Pima baseball came around with Coach Mark Morris.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So he's a quality dude. I get a kick out of Coach Morris. He's done color for the basketball broadcast. That guy has a kick, but I still need to come take some BP off of him But hopefully
do
his
it.
knees
Set that up.
repaired.
Just wait till you get the jersey first.
Yeah.
I know. Bill, any other questions before we mention our sponsors and head out for the day?
Yeah, not a problem. Just remember next week that we will be at Z Pizza on Thursday. We will unveil the guests that we're going to have. We're going to kind of keep it under wraps. Pleasure having you guys on here. As Ray knows, Pima is the only school in the Tucson area that's guaranteed a show a month. So that's how much we love the Aztecs and and continued success in all the athletic venues and sports that they have.
Yes. By the way, I will reveal something about next week's guest. It will not be Barry Bonds.
No, we tried to, but I think he was at the doctor's.
Yeah, we reached out. It will not be Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Mark McGuire, or Sammy Sosa.
That's right.
We have a strict PED ban
That's
on
right.
512 Sports Talk, but that's another show for another day. I want to mention the sponsors one more time before we head out of here. I'm just going to go through them really quickly here, so if you don't mind. We're going to start with Andy Taylor Media, and Andy, I believe it's andytaylormedia.com, but Andy makes us look great. Every single week we're
at 40, so he must be doing something right.
I know. So finally over the hill, but he does a fantastic job. So andytaylormedia.com. He does shows for like the Border Patrol and all these other great shows. So there's even a sign in here. I think it's the Border Patrol show. Is the Green Line? Is that their show?
Yep.
So that's great. So make sure you get in touch with Andy Taylor. He's not just a pretty face on TV and on the radio and stuff.
That's right.
He does a great job with the production. So thank you. TucsonAlist.com. If you're looking for a quality service provider, go to TucsonAlist.com. Obviously, right behind Edgar here, we do have another smiling face, which is Chris Lawler from Nova Home Loans. LoansByLawler.com, 520-260-4846. He's the loan officer that never sleeps. And if you need to purchase or refinance a home, Chris Lawler is definitely the way to go. And also, he is doing the Harry Potter charity ball. So if you're looking to have a good time, you want to dress up, pretend you're a wizard. If you're a fan of the Hufflepuffs and the Gryffindors and all that stuff, make sure to attend the Harry Potter charity ball, which is coming up on July 29th. You'll see the information on the screen. Also, as the temperatures, even at 4 o'clock in the morning, are over 80 degrees, Oasis Air Conditioning and Heating. Talk to David Murrieta. I can't stress enough, when you patronize one of our sponsors, mention that you heard them on the show.
Please.
It helps them out. It helps us out. It makes,
And it saves you money.
right. And it's just all about being local. Like Pima's local. U of A is local. All the high schools are local.
You don't
That's
see
what we
any
focus
national
on.
brands
Yeah.
on our show. It's
Yeah,
all
exactly.
local mom and pop businesses
Yeah.
and people that love Tucson enough that they want to have their own business here in the metro area.
Exactly. Also, Aqua Solutions. So if you have a pool, or if you want a pool, but they won't dig the hole, but if you anything else pool related or
if you have a
fountain
sick
related,
pool.
yeah, or even a kiddie pool, I'm sure they're going to make an exception. So Aqua Solutions, make sure. We're flashing all the logos and everything, all the contact information across the screen. So write everything down. Again, the show stays on Facebook after the show, so watch it later. Andy does a great job of putting the shows on YouTube afterwards, so watch it on the flat screen
On the
later.
big screen.
So Micha's our very first sponsor here. Micha's Great Mexican Food on 4th Avenue. They do catering, so if you're having a really big get-together and you want some really good quality Mexican food, go to Micha's on 4th Avenue. Can't forget Stray Dogs on River and Stone, home of the 17-inch donut. They did actually, when they showed the ginormous foods on TV in the restaurant, they actually made 3 of the donuts. And gave
Sean
them
and
out
I
to
were
the
there
crowd.
live. Sean was there with his wonderful family.
Yeah.
And we had a great time. The place was packed. So, Stray Dogs, their food speaks for itself. And obviously, as we mentioned before, they treat us like gold, and we love to do the shows there.
It's great. The food's great. They come up with a new mac and cheese, and they have a brand new menu that just rolled out about 10 days ago. So if you haven't been, even if you've been there, if you hadn't been in a couple of weeks, go. They have these new meatball sliders that are just insane.
Even take your lunch break. If you're in the Tucson Mall area or the northwest part of town, take your lunch break at Stray Dogs. You won't be sorry.
Definitely. Also, Z Pizza and Tap Room up on the northwest side. La Cañada and Naranja, 12 beers on tap. Great pizzas, salads,
Sandwiches,
wines.
slices.
They do it all there. They do a fantastic job. Jason Mendelson, who's filled in a couple times and has been on the fan forum, is the assistant GM there. He'll take good care of you. So I'm just trying to think of, did we miss anyone? Snap Fitness, one of our newer sponsors, Snap Fitness. If you want to work out 24 hours a day,
If you have no job and want to work out 24 hours a day.
So like Ray, I mean, he may not big, but he's slow, but he didn't go to Snap Fitness yet. So talk to John over at Snap Fitness.
Yes.
He will put you on a program, and he'll get you where you need to go. And then once you finish, you can go straight over and get your 2 years into Pima and play for Coach Alday or Coach Holthouse or Peabody or something like that. So, also The Rock. So they have great concerts, and you don't have to be 21 years old to go there.
Right.
Cheap cover. Mention 520. They're going to give you an even cheaper cover.
All different types of music too. I mean, they got local rock. They got goat roasting music. They got anything you want. They got The Rock.
So, it's what you can't understand what they're saying, but it gets something like something like that. And Andy, I have to ask you a quick question because you I don't know if this is a new sponsor that I don't know about. Mama Gina massaging the bruise. I'm not quite sure.
We got a meeting with him next week.
I was gonna say, I could use a massage therapist as a sponsor here, and for more personal reasons, a little backache, like that. I'm not gonna read the slogan right there. I'm not gonna do it because we're not highly regulated. But what regulation there is on Facebook, I'm not gonna ruin it. We're
still a family show.
We're almost at 1,600 likes, and we're gonna keep it that way.
Yeah.
So
businesses out there, if you want to get your name out and about, Facebook is a nice format. Not only do people in Tucson watch us, but people around the country that are alumni of Pima, alumni of the U of A, or they just grew up and went to high school here, and for one reason or another they live elsewhere. So we have several people that watch us every week from different states, and so if you have a business that you want to get out and have a lot of people see, give me a call at or give me a text at the 520 page or at 520sportstalk@gmail.com.
Yes. Also, if you have anything that you want on the page, interesting sports stories, we do have a new director of social media. That is Lori Burkhart. We have a new email address that goes straight to her. She's going to take care of all the social media because we are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Everything.
We probably need to start Pinterest, if we haven't done that.
What?
I know. But either way, that's 520 Sports SM, which stands for social media. So 520sportssm@gmail.com. Make sure to watch us afterwards on Facebook and YouTube. We will reveal our wonderful guest for next week's show during the week in a post, so stay tuned to the Facebook page. Again, to thank you to Ray, Edgar, Coach Alday, Andy. For Bill, I'm Sean. This has been 520 Sports Talk, episode number 40. We will see you next week.
Peace out.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.